Welcome to the YouTube video channel for my new book, Seed of Israel, DNA Guide to Tracing Your Jewish Ancestry, available on Amazon in eBook and paperback versions. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to receive more videos like this. In this video, I'm going to show you my DNA results. These results are from many years of running many different admixture calculators. Since I first took the initial DNA test in 2014 through Ancestry DNA. So basically they send you along with your results, they'll send you your raw DNA file, which you can use to upload to other DNA testing sites and run the calculators and compare your results. And you're going to see patterns. You're going to see sometimes widely different admixture percentages, regions, populations. Some of them, might be more reliable than others. Some of these calculators, you really have to do a deep dive and, try to interpret the results in terms of your known family history, your genealogy, history of your ethnicity, etc. So now I'm not going to make any, I just want to present the results just straightforward. I really don't want to try to interpret them. I'll leave that up to you. You're not really going to get, if you're looking for answers, like a mathematical equation, you're not going to get them. You're going to get a lot of conflicting results. You're going to just get results that just boggle your mind. But you're also going to probably see some patterns, and you can just interpret the results that way, and be okay with just them being somewhat inconclusive, and that's okay too. So, like I said, I'm not going to make any conclusions about how much Middle Eastern I have versus European or other. Or make a generalization about Ashkenazi Jews, or any other ethnicities. So I'm also not going to get into haplogroups. I'll do that in another video. I'd like to examine my Y-DNA patrilineal and mtDNA matrilineal haplogroups and the subclades, and go into some theories about their possible origins. In this video, I'm only going to talk about my autosomal DNA results, or aDNA, which are the results that you get when you take a regular DNA test through one of the major companies such as Ancestry, Family Tree DNA, MyHeritage, 23andMe, etc. If you want to if you're curious about what haplogroups are, what Y-DNA is, what mtDNA is, what autosomal DNA is, I encourage you to follow the links below to the Amazon page for either the ebook or the paperback version of my book, Seed of Israel, DNA Guide to Tracing Your Jewish Ancestry. And I talk about this in my book. I have an entire chapter on it. So be sure to order your copy, and you can find out all about haplogroups and autosomal DNA. So before I get into some of the results for the DNA test, I want to answer the question. Well, what genealogically, where did my great grandparents immigrate from? They were I have 2 Jewish parents. I have 4 Jewish grandparents. Either some of my grandparents or my great grandparents, well, they immigrated here in the late to the United States, to primarily Chicago and Milwaukee in the late 19th century and early 20th century, during the great wave of immigration from Europe and other places. Well, they were Jews from Central and Eastern Europe. Well, where were they from? Well, I made a map, a Jewish ancestry map, on Google Maps, which I encourage you to do as well. Really easy to do. And these are the locations where my Ashkenazi Jewish ancestors possibly lived in Central and Eastern Europe before immigrating to the United States. Some of those possible places are Račoj, Poland, Prešov, Slovakia, which was Austria-Hungary in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Polonio, Ukraine, which was part of the Russian Empire, possibly a place called Baturin, Ukraine, which was also in the Russian Empire, Vilnius, Lithuania, known as Vilna in the Russian Empire at that time when they lived there, Odessa, Ukraine, which is also in the Russian Empire, Chisinau, Moldova, also in the Russian Empire. Now, these are possible places my more recent ancestors lived. There's a lot of, just like DNA genetics, there's a lot of conflicting information, a lot of conflicting records when you're trying to trace your genealogy. So, Malmo, Sweden, Gunzburg, Germany, Chernivtsi, Ukraine, Russian Empire, Kaunas, Lithuania, or Kovno, Laudenbach, Germany, Zurem, Poland, Lisburg, Germany, Sireske, Makolani, Slovakia, Majdanek, Poland, which is where my great-grandfather's brother was murdered in the Shoah, in the Holocaust. Legiano Noa, Poland, which was where another of his brothers was murdered in the Shoah. Sokolo Podlatsky, Poland, and Sokol Liv, Ukraine. So basically, if you look on the map and you look at the region, the area that they were from, well, it was mostly Central and Eastern Europe. It was Germany, it was Sweden, where my great-grandfather, one of my great-grandfathers immigrated from. It was Poland, Lithuania, Ukraine, Slovakia, possibly Moldova. So, but what did the genetics say? What did my DNA test? Did they say that like German or Polish or Lithuanian or Ukrainian or Slovakian? Well, no. The answer is no, not even close. Because Jews and Ashkenazi Jews are a very distinct ethnic group, and we're very, very separate genetically from our host countries, that we lived in for hundreds of years, if even longer, in the European diaspora. And I'll get into that. But so when I originally took the Ancestry DNA test in 2014, it came back as 91% European Jewish. And so in September of last year, of 2018, there was a pretty significant upgrade to their database at Ancestry. They added 13,000 reference populations for a total of 16,000. And that's a lot. That's a lot of reference populations, and so the ethnicity estimates changed for a whole lot of people. Some people were shocked about it. Some people were surprised. Some people were angry about it. They didn't like the results. But anyway, a whole lot of Ashkenazi Jews or European Jews who are pretty much fully, at least genealogically, fully Jewish, as far as having two Jewish Ashkenazi parents, four Ashkenazi Jewish grandparents, such as myself. Well, we went up to anywhere from the 80s and 90s to 100%. So as you can see from the screenshot, my ethnicity estimate with the update is 100% European Jewish. So, again, it aligns with my more recent ancestry that I showed you: Western and Central Europe, Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, and Moravia, and Central and Eastern Europe, Northeast Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, and West Belarus. So, again, what I did was I took my raw DNA file and I uploaded it to other sites just to compare the results. So let's take a look at some of those. I'm going to start with some of the major companies, and then I'm going to go into some of the smaller companies, DNA testing sites, and some of them that go into some of the admixture. I think that's possibly behind Ashkenazi, which again I do go into in my book as well. So what does family tree DNA say? Well, family tree DNA in my origins, it says that I am 95% Jewish diaspora, and that Jewish diaspora is all completely Ashkenazi, 95% Ashkenazi. And so what is the other 5%? Well, 3% is European, and all that European is East Europe, 3% East Europe. And then I get trace results. Now, trace results, if it's like around 1 or 2%, it's likely background noise. Could be possibly a very, very, very distant ancestor. But that's, really, unless your genealogy shows that's really, and you have like verification of that in your family records, it's remotely possible, but it's more likely just background noise. When it gets down to like 2%, 1%, under 1%. So we have under 1% Scandinavia, under 1% South America, and under 2% West Middle East. All right, let's take a look at my heritage. My ethnicity estimate is, well, it says 100% Europe. But obviously, as we're going to see in the other admixture calculators, that is very deceiving because it masks a lot of Middle Eastern. So Ashkenazi Jewish, 84.7% according to my heritage. Well, what's the rest? Well, 8.8% East Europe, with 7% of that Balkan, and 1.8% East European. 4% North and West European, and finally 2.5% South Europe, and all of that is Iberian. 2.5% Iberian. So I ordered a DNA ancestry report from a company called 24 Genetics, which is based in Madrid, Spain. Provided them my raw DNA, just like the others. And so they gave me a really nice PDF detailed report. I just want to briefly go into the results there. So their results were really different. So, first they give the report, the global picture. Well, the global picture is 66.40% Asia, 31% Europe, 1.60% Africa, and 1% America. Well, when you do a little deeper dive into that, let's go into the countries. So, what is most of that Asia? Well, most of that Asia is Israel. Israel is on the continent of Asia. It's in Western Asia. So, 60.20% Israel. And, what is a lot of that European? Well, a lot of it is Mediterranean. A lot of it is Southern European. So we have 10% Greece, and then 7.40% Italy, 5.80% Spain, 3% Portugal, 2.40% Lebanon, 1.80% Syria, 1.40% Algeria, and that's basically the North African, 1.20% France, 1% Albania, 0.60% Jordan, and then 0.60% Palestine, etc. You're getting down there. So now the countries in Europe, again, the top country is Greece at 10%, and then Italy at 7.40%, Spain at 5.80%, Portugal at 3.0%. So pretty much all Southern Europe. That's according to this report, that's the European, is really Mediterranean, Southern Europe. Let's keep going down here. So the regional data, let's see, that's the countries in Europe. Okay. And yeah, so the regions, well, you know, it gives me 55.80% Ashkenazi Jews. And so, you know, a lot of that Asia and then Israel is from the Ashkenazi Jews. They place entirely in Israel. And then 5% Peloponnese, which is in Greece. 3.40% Sephardic Jews, which they put in Israel. 3% Portugal. 2.20% Andros. 2.20% Dodecanese. Those are the Aegean, Greece. 1.80% Syria Jews. Again, that'll be put in Israel, etc. So 1.60% Liguria, 1.40% Algeria Jews, 1.20% Lebanon Christians, 1.20% Sidon ancient Canaanites, 1.20% Apulia, which is in a region in southern Italy. Okay, and you can just look at the screenshots of those. So, yeah, I'll show you the screen. I'll show you, you know, put on the screenshots from the regions in Asia, the regions in Europe, and the regions in Africa, regions in Caribbean. You know, barely trace. Again, this is probably just likely background noise. Cuba colonial. You know, that could be, you know, Sephardic from Spain. You know, Nicaragua native, Panama colonial. We're talking about 0.20%. You know, these are trace results that are probably just background noise. Probably, you know, probably from that minor Sephardic ancestry that it shows that I have. So, yeah, like Peru colonial, Paraguay mestizo, 0.20%. Probably just, you know, Spanish or Portuguese. Either Spanish or Portuguese or, you know, Sephardic. So that's 24 genetics. So then I ordered an ancestry report from a gentleman named Lucas, and I can't recall his last name, but he's from Poland, and he's great. He's a real expert on genetics, and for like €5 or something like that, or €8 or something, he'll put together a neat little ancestry report, and based on the Eurogenes K36 admixture calculator that you can run through GEDmatch utility, or you know, there's some other admixture utilities that you can run this calculator. The Eurogenes K36, which again, it's anything, the number after K in any of these admixture calculators represents the reference populations that your DNA is being compared to, and then it gives you percentages of that. You know, that it doesn't necessarily mean that you are whatever that population is. It just means there's somewhat similar DNA to that. So that means that, you know, it's 36 reference populations here. So I'll provide screenshots of these. But well, what did this ancestry report say? Well, according to the Monte 3 Oracle, which, by the way, it says Jewish admixture can at times be masked or mistaken for Sicilian or Greek islander ancestry, or vice versa. So, you know, you'll see when I post, you know, show you some of these other admixture calculators that, you know, Ashkenazi Jews get a not insignificant amount of, you know, Southern European, you know, East Mediterranean, Central Mediterranean admixture. We're very close to these populations. So, and my closest single item as far as distance is Malta. Malta, small island south of Sicily, just north of Tunisia in the Mediterranean, Malta. And then Latvia, Ashkenazi, Italian, Abruzzo, Romanian Jew, Sicily Palermo, Sicily Caltanissetta, Sicily Trapani, Sicily Agrigento, German Ashkenazi, Poland Ashkenazi. And so the full table and Monte, the distance, estimated percentage is distance. Malta, and then Latvia Ashkenazi, then Netherlands Ashkenazi, Greek Dodecanese, Romanian Jew, Italian Abruzzo, Moroccan Jew, Portugal, Sephardi Portugal, Belmont, Yemen Jew, and then it really gets down there, percentages. So let's see some of the other results. So here's the admix admix for Oracle, least squares method using one population approximation. Malta, that's somewhat of a distance, so 9.084266. So usually it gets more accurate the lower distance you get. So if you're getting down to like 1, 2, 1, under 1, you're getting really close. So but then Italian Abruzzo, Latvia Ashkenazi, Romanian Jew, again Sicily Palermo, Sicily Caltanissetta, Sicily Trapani, Sicily Agrigento, German Ashkenazi, Poland Ashkenazi, using two populations approximation. Malta plus Netherlands Ashkenazi. Number 2, Cataluna plus Lebanon Christian. Islas Baleares plus Lebanon Christian. And you can see from the screenshot, the number 1, as far as 3 populations approximation, 50% Greek Andros, 25% Cantabria, plus 25% Iraq Qadisiyah. And then using 4 populations approximation, Austrias plus Greek Dodecanese plus North Albania plus Iraq Qadisiyah. Okay, and this is a different method, the Gaussian method, using one population approximation. We see France Ashkenazi, Italian Abruzzo, Sicily Palermo, Sicily Caltanissetta, Greek Peloponnese, Sicily Trapani, Belarus Ashkenazi, Romanian Jew, Greek Central, Greek Crete, using 2 populations approximation. Italy Trentino plus Syrian Jew is number 1. Using 3 populations approximation, 50% Syrian Jew, plus 25% Cantabria, plus 25% Greek Andros. Using 4 populations approximation, Cantabria, plus Greek Andros, plus Greek Cyclades, plus Samaritan. So that's some of what the report, conclusions of the report, based on the Eurogenes K36. So let's look at some others. Well, there's a site called DNA Land, and you can upload your raw DNA there. And so what is their ancestry report? Well, their ancestry composition is 99% West Eurasian, and 95% of that is Ashkenazi, 3.2% ambiguous, 1.2% Sardinian, and 1% Amazonian. I don't know where that comes from. Again, likely background noise. So, and just for kicks, let's look at what this Chinese company called WeGene came up with as far as my ancestry. And this is like way off. So, they came up with 75.71% European, 35.36% Balkans, only 15.25% Ashkenazi. So that's I don't think that's correct. I'll go with the ancestry DNA, 100% Ashkenazi, 14.76% French, 9.80% 6% Sardinian, 0.48% others, and then it says I'm 20.37% Middle Eastern, 7.57% Egyptian, 2.26% Saudi, 0.53% Iranian, 0.01% others. And then South Asian, 3.67% Sindhi, not sure about that, and 0.25% others. So yeah, that's probably way off. So, but I just thought I'd put it out there. Just want to really quick, just wrap it up and go over some of my results from a new admixture utility called DNA Genetics Admixture Studio, which I've talked about before, which I think has some pretty interesting results, and I'll post screenshots of those. And so the Tolan K54 is just for European, just has only European components. So that's 54 European components that you're being compared to, your DNA. No Levant, no Middle East. So what did that came up with? Well, it came up with 55.24% Crete, which is a huge island just south of mainland Greece. 21.46% Sicily, which is another huge island. I believe it's the biggest island in the Mediterranean, just south of mainland Italy. That's 21.40%, 6% Sicily, and 16.51% Canary. The Canary Islands are on the Atlantic Ocean off the southwestern coast of Morocco. It's an autonomous region of Spain, but the indigenous people there, I can't remember their name right now, but I believe they're very closely related to the Berbers or the Amazigh, which are indigenous groups in North Africa. But then what happens when you go to when you do run it through the Tolan K71 admixture calculator, which includes on top of the 54 European components, there's Middle Eastern components too. So what does that give me? Well, I get Levant comes at the top as a top result at 21.2%, followed by Crete, Greece at 11.37%, and then you get a lot of mostly southern Italian results. Apulia, Italy at 8.37%, Sicily, Italia at 7.49%, Lazio, Italia 5.28%, Peloponnese, Greece at 5.23%, Albania at 4.4%, Tuscany, Italia at 3.88%, Arabia 3.33%, etc. So let's take a quick look at some of these other calculators. Tolan K25R1, my top population, Arabia at 25.31%, followed by Southeast Europe at 18.4%, and then West Mediterranean 13.82%, Atlantic at 13.26%. West Mediterranean, I believe, peaks in Sardinia. Atlantic peaks kind of northern Spain, southern France. South Caucasus 8.3%, Russian steppes 7.36%. Let's take a look at Tolan K7 M1. So that gives me 55.7% Mediterranean, 25.31% North African Middle Eastern, North Euro is 11.31%, and Caspian Sea at 7.68%. Tolan K14. Well, that gives me 7.71% Southeast Euro, 15.83% Southwest Euro, 12.83% Persian Gulf, 12.65% Northwest Euro, 11.83% East Anatolia, 11.7% Anatolia, 9.43% North Africa and Arabia, 6.4% North Central Europe, 1.62% Northeast Europe. Tolan K13, well, that is 39.7% West Europe, 26.72% Arabia, 16.81% South Mediterranean, 8.57% Caucasus, 6.73% Eastern Europe. Toll K18 M4, 19.80%, 86% East Mediterranean, 19.53% Persian Gulf, 14.7% Atlantic, 12% East Anatolia, 10.89% West Mediterranean, 9% North Africa and Near East, 7.3% Steppe Russia, 5.44% Central European, 1.42% Northwest Black Sea, and 0.12% North Euro. Toll and recent ancestors Jews, 28.24% Levant, 24.08% South Italia, 12.05% North Italia, 11.35% Southeast Europe, 7.77% Iberia, 4.82% France, 3.22% Balkan, 2.18% Arabia, 1.89% South Germany, 1.11% Central Europe, and the rest of the results are really not worth mentioning because they're below 1%. Tolan K20 Bronze Age. Well, let's see. Jordan Bronze Age, 26.6%. West Europe, 19.86%. Central Europe, 17.5%. Armenia Chalcolithic, 13.3%. Anatolian Chalcolithic, 8.87%. West Steppe, 6.21%. East Steppe, 3.61%. Northeast Euro, 3.1%. North Africa, 0.93%, etc. Tolan K16 Neolithic. Levant Neolithic, 34.95%. Anatolian farmers, 24.71%. European Western hunter-gatherers, 23.95%. Caucasus, 14.32%. Iran Neolithic, 1.16%. Amerindian, 0.52%. European, believe it, Eastern hunter-gatherers, EHG, 0.39%. So, yeah, and let's see. Let's take a look at some of the other calculators here. Let's see. Michal K25, Mediterranean 23.96%, Druzian 18.89%, Northeast European 18.19%, Caucasian 16.14%, Arabic 8.93%, Berberic 6.13%, and then you get to the lower percentages. And let's see. So, Lucas K15, Southwest Euro 34.53%, Caucasian 25.37%, Northeast Euro 21.49%, Red Sea 12.29%, South Indian 2.54%, Siberian 1.52%. And again, the percentage is lower than 1. Let's keep going here. Eurogenes K7 AMI. Near Eastern 61.74%. Euro hunter-gatherers 33.13%. And then you get to the lower percentages, which are, 2, 1, less than 1, probably background noise. And let's see. Dodecad Weak 2. Near East, 50.42%. Atlantic Baltic, 40.41%. South Asian, 5.97%. Sub-Saharan, 1.4%. Northeast Asian, 1.13%. Southeast Asian, 0.55%. Paleo-African, 0.11%. And let's take a look at the next calculator. Dodecad Weak, which the component, Northeast component, 51.21%. Atlantic Baltic, 46.28%. Far East, 1.79%. Africa, 0.72%. And I'm just scrolling down. I'm not going to go over all the population approximations. Let's see. Dodecad, K7B. Southern, 35.92%. Atlantic Baltic, 35.32%. West Asian, 24.83%, etc. Let's keep looking, see what we get. Dodecad World 9. Atlantic Baltic, 35.91%. Southern, 35.9%. Caucasus Gadrosa, 23.78%. Again, I'm not even going to mention anything at 2, 1, less than 1%. Let's see. Dodecad Euro 7, Southeastern 33.1%, Southwestern 20.8%, Northwestern 15.96%, Caucasus 14.85%, Northeastern 12.74%. So again, you start to see some patterns here. So let's see, that one's really similar. So is that one. Okay. So I won't go over all of them, but let's just say that I just wanted to kind of give you a sample of, different admixture calculators that I've, run my raw DNA through over the years, at least since 2014 when I initially took the DNA test. And just you can see sometimes there's widely different results, but there are kind of patterns that arise. And there's some of these two population approximations are, kind of what I describe in, my book about how, Ashkenazi Jews are the descendants of Judeans from the land of Israel in the Levantine Middle East, who spread out in the Mediterranean diaspora of antiquity, possibly, married local converts in Rome and Italy, and then made their way up the boot of Italy, up to the Rhineland, up to, Germany, northern France, and then eventually made their way to Central and Eastern Europe. And we're basically, we're very close to Southern Europeans, especially, Southern Italians, Sicilians, Greeks, Greek Islanders. We're also very close to other Western diaspora Jews, such as Sephardic Jews, Moroccan Jews, Libyan Jews, Algerian Jews, Tunisian Jews, Italian Jews, Romaniote Jews, or the Greek Jews of the Eastern Mediterranean. So we're very close to these other Western diaspora Jews. And then we're also close to Levantine, Syrians, Jordanians, Levantine Arabs, Israeli Arabs, Palestinian Arabs, Samaritans, Druze. So some of these two population approximations I get from the calculators are kind of an example of that, how we could be maybe modeled as like maybe 50% Israeli, 50% Italian or something like that, or 50% Levant, 50% Southern Europe. It's very simplistically, as if you're going to just divide into two population approximations. So some of these I get like 50% Libyan Jew plus 50% Macedonian, 50% Lebanese Christian, or three population approximation: 50% Lebanese Christian plus 25% Russian Center plus 25% Sardinian. Back to two population approximation: 50% Samaritans plus 50% Slovenian. So there's other two population approximations, such as 50% Italian plus 50% Jordanian. So, that's generally what I get. And again, these are just my personal results. I think everyone's going to vary to some degree, but I just wanted to go over that with you. And if you have any comments, please feel free. I'd love to generate a discussion about this. But thanks for watching.